The world's top climate scientists have now issued their most dire warning yet that the world is at a tipping point now if global leaders don't take dramatic action quickly. A comprehensive UN report warning that we are on a dangerous track for even more catastrophic heat waves, flooding, and drought over the next decade. But there is still a chance to avoid the worst effects by aggressively cutting greenhouse gases in half by 2030. Joining me now is Michael Mann, Presidential Distinguished Professor and Director of the Penn Center for Science, Sustainability, and the Media at the University of Pennsylvania. Michael is also the author of The New Climate War. So, Michael, this UN report, based on thousands of scientific studies approved by 195 countries, how does this warning compare to others, and how can it be ignored?
Yeah, so, this is a synthesis report, so it literally, synthesizes the last 3 reports published over the last year by the IPCC on the basic science, on the impacts, and on solutions. And while there's technically nothing new, it provides a really important contextualization of what we've learned from those reports. And it presents us, as you allude to, with a very stark choice. We have a rapidly shrinking window available to us if we are to prevent warming from going beyond that catastrophic level of 3 degrees Fahrenheit, where we start to see ever more dire consequences of climate change. So
what does the report say we can do? What would make a difference?
So it's sort of modified, the last report that was published by the IPCC, sort of the numbers told us that we needed to reduce carbon emissions by about 50% by 2030 to stay within our budget for keeping warming below that catastrophic 3-degree Fahrenheit level, where, again, we start to see far worse floods and heat waves and wildfires and superstorms. Well, here's the problem. It's several years later, and we haven't seen much progress. Carbon emissions have stopped increasing, but they haven't come down, and we need them to come down rapidly if we are to remain below that catastrophic level of warming. So what the report says, look, we didn't make enough progress over the last few years, so we need even larger reductions now. We've got to reduce carbon emissions globally by about 60% by 2035 to prevent us from crossing that dangerous threshold.
Now, the president is heading to the Department of the Interior today. He's going to designate national monuments in Nevada and Texas, protecting nearly 514,000 acres of public lands. But just last week, he approved a massive drilling project in Alaska. So how do you reconcile those things, and how do you feel about the president's decisions to approve the Willow project?
Yeah, it's a little bit schizophrenic because on the one hand, the president did help push through the Inflation Reduction Act with those very important, climate provisions that help put us on a path to bring down those carbon emissions fairly dramatically, more than 40% by 2030. Not as far as we need to go, but real progress. On the other hand, as you allude to, the administration has approved this pipeline project that will deliver more fossil fuels, dirty fossil fuels to the global market at a time when the International Energy Agency has been very clear. There can be no new fossil fuel infrastructure if we are to remain below that dangerous warming limit. And so I would have liked to have seen the president, the administration fight harder to prevent that, project from going forward. I understand that they felt that they were going to have difficulty in the courts, that they would be challenged in the courts if they tried to block that project, but they should have at least tried to do that.
Michael Mann, thank you very much for your expertise. Such a big challenge for all of us, and the world is not paying enough attention. We'll stick on. I hope you'll come back again soon.